Hello, everybody, and welcome to this month's edition of the Game Show Canada. I'm your host, Marc Power, and I'm having some technical issues, so I'm recording the introduction here with my phone. And there's been a lot going on in the world since the last time I saw you. Now, the one thing about it, though, is it does allow one to put things in perspective, because as much as we complain about things that are going on in our lives, we got to remember that we need to be very thankful for what we have. If you're fortunate enough to have a roof over your head, if you have a job, you have a family, little things like that that we all take for granted. And there's always going to be problems in the world. Even though the last couple of years it seems to be more prominent, and I really don't know what the reason is for that. If it's just because of there's the internet and the social media influence, or what. But there's always more important things in life than petty disputes and petty problems. For instance, we're going to talk about the current crisis that's going on right now, and I could go on and on about that. But this is not a political show. It's a show where, honestly, not even the show, it's the whole channel, where all we do is review old game shows. And we give you a bit of an outlet to forget about your problems for a moment. And by reviewing old game shows, having a little laugh, and maybe educate you a little bit. So, take this moment and let's forget about the world's problems for a few. But I will say this. On behalf of all of us at Game Show Garbage, we extend our sincere sympathies, our condolences, and our prayers to all those affected by the current crisis. And I think the entire world can agree, no matter which side you were on, that we all hope for a peaceful end soon. On with this month's show at Game Show Canada, and let's look back at a French game show that was an import from France, and it's called Le Cercle.
Quatrième test de la semaine. Et voilà que s'amène l'animateur qui chante sous la pluie et qui danse avec les loups, l'unique Charles Lafortune.
Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir. Bonsoir, les amis du Cercle.
The Cercle, or The Cercle when translated in English, ran for 6 seasons on TVA. It was hosted by Montreal-based actor and TV personality Charles Lafortune, with former Lingo host Paul Hood serving as a co-host, announcer, judge role. Both of whom do a great job in their roles and have great chemistry between them, so it actually works really well. The Cercle is essentially an imported version of a show from France called La Cible. 10 contestants play and stay for the entire week. Round 1 is called the first round. How fitting. A question is asked with several possible answers, and the camera spins around and begins choosing players in random order. If a player is chosen, they have 3 seconds to answer. If they're right, no problems. If they're wrong, fail to answer within 3 seconds, or repeat an answer that was already given, they're out of the game. This continues until 4 players have been eliminated. The second round, La Suite, or The Sequence, features an interesting twist on the first round. A question is asked, and then Charles gives 3 answers that fit into the category. So essentially, the contestants have to shoot blindly at what the category is. So for instance, they could say countries of the world, Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Australia. And it would be up to the contestants to figure out that they'd be looking for countries of the world that start with the letter A. This round continues until 2 players have been eliminated, leaving us with 4 players. The third round is the definitions round. In this round, each of the 4 players is given a letter and 25 seconds to solve as many as 5 words from the definitions given to them by Charles. The 2 players who come through with the best scores move on to the final round. If a player manages to get all 5 definitions in 20 seconds or less, they win a bonus of a $500 gift certificate for Via Rail. And if there is a tie, then time is considered as the tiebreaker. The final round is the auctions round. In this round, both players essentially play the challenge round from Wipeout. A question is asked, and the players bid back and forth as to how many answers they can give. This continues until one player either bids the maximum number of answers, or one player challenges the other. If a player makes their bid, they win a point. Otherwise, the point goes to their opponent. The first player to 2 points wins the game and moves on to the bonus round. Before playing the bonus round, the contestant chooses one of 5 envelopes, or that is, on Monday it'd be 5, and the envelopes are depleted as the week goes by. Kind of like the old Wheel of Fortune bonus round with the WHEEL envelopes. This envelope selection determines what prize they win, with 4 of the prizes being worth about $1,000, and one of them being a trip. The bonus round, the contestant is given 15 seconds to answer 3 questions. One requiring 1 part, one requiring 2 parts, and one requiring 3 parts, although not necessarily in that order. The clock starts when Charles finishes reading the question and stops once the contestant either passes or they give the answer. A contestant can pass the question once and come back to it later if time permits. However, they cannot pass it a second time. If the contestant manages to answer all 3 questions correctly, then they win the grand prize of $5,000. Otherwise, they get nothing extra. So a $5,000 prize in this time frame, that's actually not bad by Canadian TV standards. But it can be a bit difficult to win, since sometimes the questions in the bonus round are usually very difficult. So the format isn't all that original. The first round is pretty much Pass the Buck, or any other show that's had that same format that's been done to death of contestants taking turns giving an answer to the same question. The second round is just a variant of it. The third round is just a definitions quizzer. And the fourth round is the old auction round from Tic-Tac-Toe / the challenge round from Wipeout. But somehow it worked. It ran for 6 years in Quebec, and even served as the inspiration for an English-speaking version of the show called Pop Quiz, which aired a few years later on Canada's E! Network. The format was exactly the same, but the questions focused largely on pop culture. And fortunately, I don't have footage of that, otherwise I would be commenting on it here. The format was also tried in Germany, where it ran for 1 summer, and in Vietnam, where it ran for 3 years. So, the format works, and it's been relatively successful. And overall, an enjoyable show. So if you like the format that's been tried hundreds of times, well, maybe not hundreds, but way too much, then you'll enjoy this show. And I would suggest checking it out on YouTube, as there are quite a few episodes available there. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Game Show Canada. On behalf of all of us, this is Marc Power, saying long may your big jib draw. Become a Patreon backer at www.patreon.com/gameshowgumbo or check out our website at www.gameshowgarbage.com. This has been an impressive production.